What's up everybody, this is Ven bringing you another M.O.C Spotlight where we take apart what you build, and for today's episode we'll be taking a look at the new Rama Invade Koro, a concept set design created and posted to our message boards by AD the Buckle, and second place winner of our very own Rickonicle contest. Now of course, before we get started on the review, let me remind you of my method of reviewing, which involves a point system that is based on 3 fundamental attributes: the overall appearance of the M.O.C, the build of the M.O.C itself, and the concept and ideas behind the M.O.C's creation. Each quality will amount up to 10 points, leading up to a final score that will be determined at the end of the episode. And please remember that this is all based on my opinion, so let's get this started. Alright, so what we have here is a little set piece that displays 2 big trees with some structures like this hut that takes up almost half this entire tree, which is connected to a little platform on the other tree through this ladder thing. We got 2 villagers running around, and we have the Toa fighting these gorgeous looking Nui Rama, or Nui Rama, however you want to pronounce it. Now I'll say right off the bat, what I really do like about this whole M.O.C is that it actually looks like a slice cut out from an actual world. It looks like this is actually part of a village. It might not be much, it might only just be this one hut and then these ladders and all, but for what we have, there's a lot of detail. The hut itself has a very particular rounded out design with a couple of greebles, like here on the sides and between the window holes and the doorway, which also have a pretty particular look to them. Removing the roof of the hut also reveals that there's a bit of interior as well. Quite empty, but it is nice to see just how roomy and rounded out the hut actually is. Stepping out of the hut, we also got this ladder, which is designed pretty well. I really do dig this ladder for some reason. And then this platform with this pillar and stuff, I guess to give the illusion that there's a bit more architecture in whatever jungle this takes place in. I don't know, but it works. I like it. Plus there's another ladder. The trees themselves are pretty well defined. They have a little bit of complexity, a lot of edges here and there. There's leaves and vines everywhere. And then even the ground has a bit of texture to it. You got a bunch of mushrooms and other bits of foliage here. So all these details plus the really earthy color scheme, a lot of brown and green and tan, make it pretty evident that Koro is part of a jungle. And I like that. I like that we can establish that right off the bat. It's part of a jungle which has a little bit more to it than meets the eye. We even got a little hidden mask here under one of the trees. And the Nui Rama, just not only do they look good, but they are built really well. They actually have a bit of posability to them in the wings and the arms. They're great little figures. However, I will admit though, it is a really neat looking set. It doesn't look all that exciting either, because it is really just this hut and this ladder thing, and there's nothing particularly interesting that really draws you in, except for the hut, but I mean, it is just a hut. So, you gotta wonder, what are these Nui Rama after? Are they after the golden mask that's hidden under the tree? Do they know it's there? Or do they just like to screw around with the villagers here that look really plain? I don't know, but who cares? It looks good, it's built really well, it is a very solid system build. I mean, that hut there looks perfectly comfortably seated here within this tree. And to a degree, the build is actually interactive with the minifigures. You got the minifigures that are able to kind of swing around the vines, I guess. Sit in the little hut, climb up and down the ladders, look for the golden mask under the tree. But if this were actually a set and somebody went and bought this at the store, there isn't really much for them to interact with except for the minifigures, of course, because the set doesn't really have any functions. You got this hidden mask, and then the roof of the hut is removable, so I guess you could build something in here if you wanted to. But aside from that, the set is basically reduced to a display model more than anything. And see, the reason why I find that to be a bit of an issue is mostly because of the concept. The concept behind this M.O.C is that it's supposed to be a set design, because both this M.O.C and the last M.O.C I reviewed were entered into the contest where we challenged you guys on the message boards to build a conceptual set design for what would be a system-based Bionicle theme. Like, what would we realistically see out on the shelves if Lego actually, that whole deal. So with this set, it looks great. I could see this as a set design if there was a little bit more to it, because with Lego, I always see that they try to implement some sort of play value to their sets. Even if it is a set piece like a fortress or castle, they do whatever they can to implement something that the person who built the set can interact with, like a little function, breakable walls, whatever. And from what I can tell, this set design right here has two little play features thrown into it: the hut and the hidden mask with the light brick inside. And these are cool. I like that they were implemented, but what is the purpose of them? What is the purpose of removing the roof from the hut? Are we supposed to be revealing something? Is this supposed to burst open? Are the Nui Rama supposed to explode it? If so, what are they using to explode it, you know? And then I guess you could say that the focus of the set would be the hidden mask, like maybe there's a conflict over the hidden mask, but it's not really clear if it is the focus of the set. The set doesn't seem to really focus on anything. I mean, sure, the focus is the conflict in a box. You got the Nui Rama versus Liwa, the Toa, hero, savior, woo. But if that's going to be the focus of the set, then what is the point of the rest of the set? We understand why Liwa and the Nui Rama are here because they're the ones at conflict, and obviously their conflict is taking place in the jungle because that's what the rest of the set is supposed to represent, that they're in this jungle village type thing. But is that all you're getting for the price of $69.99, which is how much this set would sell for if it was released at retailers and whatnot, because it has a whopping 653 parts, and the typical price per part ratio is, 10 parts per dollar, give or take, depending on a couple of things like licensing, minifigures, and whatnot. But either way, are you really gonna pay over $60 for this set that has little play value? I mean, sure, if you're a collector and you just like how it looks, you want to put it on display, that's cool. I'm not saying that the set doesn't have a purpose, or that it doesn't have any sort of value. I'm saying it's just not realistically what I could see LEGO putting out. Because realistically speaking, I would actually expect a little bit more to be put into the set at this price range if it was done by LEGO. And, well, on that note, I think it's just about time we go ahead and move on to the scores and wrap everything up now, shall we? In terms of appearance, this MOC receives a 9 out of 10. I do actually really like the design of this set and the aesthetics it has going for it. However, I do feel like the color scheme is a bit monotonous. There's nothing in particular that actually stands out aside from the Nui Rama. And then the minifigures, of course, are a little bit bland. But I know, to be fair, there isn't any traditional minifigures in the style of Bionicle, so whatever. In terms of the build, this MOC receives a 9 out of 10. It is a solid build overall and makes for a really good looking set. However, I do feel that the builder could have been a bit more creative in terms of functionality and implementing a bit more interactiveness and play value. But it is still a pretty great build nonetheless. And in terms of the concept, this MOC receives an 8 out of 10. While it is a great design that definitely gets the idea across that this is a part of Koro that is under attack by the Nui Rama, as an idea for a potential set design, I think it could use a little bit more to be thrown in there. Because again, we just have these two trees, this hut, and then a little battle happening. But there isn't any point of significance in the hut or anything aside from the little hidden mask that's just out of the way, really. And so as I mentioned earlier, I would expect a little more to be thrown into a set. But again, as an actual standalone design, it all looks pretty good. And finally, we are left with a final score that all adds up to a 26 out of 30. So great job to you, 80 the Buckle. Congrats for making it onto the MOC Spotlight, and of course for winning second place in our Rickonicle contest. And for the rest of you, please check out our message boards at board.ttvchannel.com for a chance to enter one of our own in-home contests where we actually do giveaways for the winners. And of course, just for posting your own LEGO creation there at all, you will have a very high possibility of being featured on the MOC Spotlight sometime in the future if I consider your MOC to be interesting and or creative enough. So until then, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.